Guanacaste, in the far west of Costa Rica. The only thing a bounty hunter might suffer here is too much choice. Because these vast plains, with their widespread ranches and homesteads, are a haven for outlaws. Have made another hit. You may be asking yourself who the heck are Opterans. They are desperados, robbers, and bandits who have an astonishing number of tricks to guarantee their survival and wealth. Look out, you little varmints. Because George Brassard, the man who can spot an Homoptera from miles away, is here to lay down the law. Chances are you're familiar with the Homoptera. Cicadas, sometimes called locusts, are one of the most notorious members of this gang. The exact criteria for this order of insects is being questioned by scientists today. But one thing is sure, all six-legged creatures in this family have mouth parts designed to pierce and suck. They will gladly insert their suction straw into just about anything that might have sap inside. These destructive insects are often so greedy that they seriously weaken the plant, if not kill it outright. They can also transmit, through the act of sucking, a wide range of viruses and bacteria. Many favor feeding on the sap of what farmers plant and harvest, their crops and orchards. In Southeast Asia, the tiny delphasids, another member of the family, have cost rice farmers hundreds of millions of dollars. No wonder there's a price on these sap suckers' heads. The Guanacaste forest is home to a good many of these desperados. In the Old West, bandits would hide their faces under a bandana so they would not be recognized while they were committing their crimes. I know some outlaws who don't have to hide themselves when they commit a robbery. You see, they have been wearing disguises all their lives. Take a look at these little thorns. These strange thorn-like creatures are mambrosides, also known as tree-hoppers. The first thoracic segment of all the insects in this family is enlarged and highly ornate. Scientists don't fully understand its function. But one thing is clear. There are certain advantages to resembling a thorn. A twig or a leaf. In some species, these bizarre outgrowths can account for almost 17% of an insect's body weight. That's as if you or I were wearing a 25-pound hat. To increase their odds of survival, certain tree hoppers only move in large groups. Any two-winged or six-legged headhunter will think twice before taking on a gang this size. The colonies are mostly young tree hoppers. They are guarded by the females who care for their little troop of offspring with complete devotion. She keeps a 24-hour watch over her eggs. Once they are born, she feeds her offspring from the host plen, so she never has to leave their side. When a predator approaches, the mother will flap her wings furiously or pound the aggressor with her feet. Nothing will make a mother leave her young. Scientists believe this is why nymph colonies suffer few losses from predators. Without a doubt, this social structure allows the tree hopper to survive and prosper without too much difficulty, and even plunder an orchard or two on the way. In these pastures, Costa Rican ranchers are in hot pursuit of a nasty creature. Its name, Baba de Culebra, or the spit of a grass snake. Let's go take a look. This is a spittle bug. These insects belong to the Cercopidae family and simply adore fresh grass, or at least the sap that's in it. When African grass was introduced to Costa Rica as more nutritious for the cattle, these scoundrels began multiplying like never before. They are now almost a plague. During the summer, these critters and their larvae need only 2 days to transform an acre of lush green pasture into a wasteland of straw. And the crowning glory is that these critters are almost impossible to catch. Shoot. My net jammed. The critter got away. You wouldn't want to end up in a duel with the Cercopidae. These bandits are known as the fastest in all of Guanacaste. Actually, many Homoptera species have spring-like hips which can release in an instant and propel them quite a distance. But only the adult spittlebugs can jump. Their larvae are not capable of this feat. But don't bother rejoicing. These babies have another way of protecting themselves, one which is quite ingenious. Take a look at this little ball of foam. Well, it's the den of the young Bava de Culebra. This rather sticky liquid looks a lot like the saliva certain grass snakes produce to lay on their eggs. Now you understand better why they gave this insect such an unappealing name. The larvae of the spittlebug are especially vulnerable. These babies cannot fly, and their naked bodies are not well equipped to cope with changes in temperature. And yet, nature has endowed them with a surprising ability to produce foam. A larva pushes an air bubble into the foam with the tip of its abdomen. By mechanically repeating this process, it eventually makes a mass large enough to hide in, invisible to predators, and completely protected from the sun. The larva can now pillage the plant to their heart's content. The Cercopidae family may brag about its big-time criminal record, but let's face it, the nasty reputation of this gang of Calamity Janes has not swept past any national borders. The Planococcus citri and Macunellicoccus hircitus are quite another story. So who are these foreign-sounding villains anyway? Scale insects, tiny Homoptera who, thanks to our help, are thriving marvelously. I'm going to show you how to raise a crop of scale insects. Take a pinch of DDT powder. Put it in a bottle of water about this size. Give it a good shake. Then spray this explosive insecticide cocktail on a citrus tree where you find a couple of these scale insects. Repeat this operation every month and the result is guaranteed. Soon you will get a flourishing colony of these mini desperados. How is it possible? Like many Homoptera, scale insects can produce wax. Powdery or soft, this substance provides an excellent source of insulation. Many use this waxy substance to construct veritable bunkers. Sealed inside their shelters, these lady outlaws never have to worry about pesticides. In fact, pesticides help them proliferate because they exterminate any predator that might attack in the first place. Luckily, scientists are beginning to realize their mistake and looking for other remedies. The best so far involves calling in a fearless mercenary. Easy to raise, with a legendary appetite, ladies and gentlemen, meet the ladybug. Ladybugs are a scale insect's worst nightmare. These waxy little critters are among the ladybug's favorite foods. Ladybug nymphs resemble their prey so much that they can even infiltrate their colonies and remain undetected while they devour the population from inside. But a ladybug's talents don't stop there. They also have a great track record for keeping another gang of infamous outlaws in check, aphids. A full-grown ladybug can eat nearly 500 aphids a day. And that doesn't even include what their larvae can devour. Still, bringing in ladybugs to lay down the law has hardly put an end to all insect crime. Consider these cows, for example. It takes nearly 4 years to raise a fully grown adult. Cowboys will gather their cattle each and every day to count them and check on their health. They know that such daily attention is indispensable. In fact, raising beef cattle takes many years of hard work and constant care. And the death of even one represents an enormous loss. Meanwhile, among aphids, losses are not a problem. After all, it takes only 15 days to produce an adult, and you don't even need 2 parents. As long as males show up from time to time to add to the gene pool, females can reproduce alone. This nymph, which is being born right before your eyes, is an exact replica of its mother. It's a product of parthenogenesis, which means it was born from a non-fertilized egg. We call it cloning. This amazing reproduction process allows aphids to reproduce without wasting any time looking for a partner. So, if an aphid colony is wiped out by ladybugs, all it takes is a single surviving egg, and another colony can reappear within weeks. And that's not all. If the population of feasting aphids on a plant becomes too large, the females will miraculously produce a new generation of clones with wings. Carried by the wind up to 3,000 feet above sea level, these specially adapted pioneers will leave to find new territories to reign supreme. Back to this herd of cattle. Vulnerable to countless predators, their ancestors were not nearly as comfortable or prosperous. Let's face it, domestication has its advantages. But guess what? Homoptera have the same advantages. And they don't have to worry about ending up as steak on someone's plate. Homoptera are sometimes domesticated and raised by hands. And colonies can be in charge of entire herds that they guard with devotion, systematically attacking any predator that threatens to rustle one of their charges. The dedication of these 6-legged ranchers can be quite amazing. Cowboys will guide their herd toward new pastures where the grass is lush and abundant. Herding aphids is pretty much the same. Some hens won't hesitate to move the herd if the plant runs dry of sap. Amazingly, they will move the entire troop one by one. Why do these Homoptera get such a royal treatment? Well, have a look down here. That might give you some idea. Just like the milk from cows, Homoptera supply an extremely nutritious food that makes all the effort worthwhile: honeydew. Honeydew is sugar in its pure state. Drawn from the sap of a plant, the excess sugar, which is not assimilated by the insect, is then secreted out as a syrupy liquid. It's a heavenly snack for many insects. To stay clear of the stickiness, sapsuckers will eject drops of honeydew some distance away. But if some eventual bodyguards present themselves, these cunning sapsuckers will keep the honeydew on the tip of their abdomen to attract them. Hence, easily fall prey to this clever trap, and can even become totally dependent on their sweet discovery. Some species of hen can harvest over 300 pounds of honeydew a year. And you thought this troop wasn't well provided for. This bond between the hens and Homoptera has existed for millions of years. For our desperados, it's a marriage made in heaven. After all, ants are, without a doubt, the most numerous and most organized species on the planet. For enemies of the Homoptera, they make a formidable adversary. And even a reckless sheriff would never take on an entire army. But in fact, when you think about it, maybe the Homopterans and their allies are simply victims of a judicial error. Let's face it, who is ultimately responsible for the proliferation of these destructive insects? We are. In effect, by having so regally provided them with room and board, we have helped a potential pest become a veritable scourge. And to top it off, we exterminate their natural-born killers with pesticides. Why should we be surprised by the consequences? Between you and me, we're playing with fire. And as long as we fight fire with fire, there will always be plenty of outlaws.